Namaste. I'm Shivaswati, and this video is about how to surrender a problem to God. One of the critical elements while surrendering a problem to God is that you don't worry about it. You simply surrender the problem to God, saying that I will not interfere in how it is resolved, and I will not interfere if it cannot be resolved, because you are surrendering the problem as you cannot solve it anymore with the methods which you are using. Second critical element, say that the problem should be resolved with positivity for yourself, the person concerned, humanity, and all concerned. Because if you do not add the element of positivity while surrendering the problem, God will not be responsible for a positive outcome. The problem can be erased with negativity continuing in your life. The problem can be resolved in a way which makes your life more negative, or the problem may not never get resolved, and not be erased also. It can just be surrendered. It can be simply lying in the dustbin and nothing done about it. So when you surrender, you should say that let the problem be resolved in a way which is positive. Don't just say good, because good has bias. You don't know what is actually good. Good can be negative also, good can be positive also. So hence say that when I am surrendering this problem to God, let it be done in a way which is positive for the person concerned, for you and for humanity. So then in that case, the problem will be handled with more attention and a positive outcome will manifest for you. So whenever you are surrendering a problem to God, and some ideas come in your mind, or some places where you have to invest money to get the problem solved, then you should take action also, because it means that God is showing you the way. And when you are taking action, you can say, let me take action in a way such that the outcome is positive for me. Close your eyes and say this: let me take action in a way such that the outcome is positive for me, or not take action. So subconsciously you will be guided. So only 10% of your mind is the conscious mind, and most of the creation of reality happens through the subconscious mind, through the soul, through your vibrations. So if you direct your vibrations, you get a better outcome than leaving vibrations non-directed or to chance. If your life is in a lot of problem, it means that you are leaving your vibrations to chance. You are taking too many actions depending on old methods of solving problem, and you are not controlling your vibrations to be positive. If till you control your vibrations at each and every moment, and it's like uplifting, it's like going up a mountain. It is continuous exercise for the mind, and you can rest in between. You can go 0 0 0, you can smile, you can watch TV, but whenever you are aware of your thoughts, you should be focusing on positive vibrations, or chanting switch codes which make you positive, so that, or prayers which make you positive. So don't chant anything or don't affirm anything which is not making you feel positive vibrationally. Till you feel positive vibrationally, any problem cannot be resolved, whether you surrender it or not. So surrendering a problem does not mean that you are solving that problem. Surrendering a problem does not mean that your test is over. Surrendering a problem is only means that you don't want to give this test anymore, and you've had enough of it, and you want someone else to solve the problem. You want some ideas to come in your head, or you want some new inventions to happen. For example, the aeroplane was thought about by Leonardo da Vinci in 1600 BC, and then it was invented in 2000 AD. Sorry, it was AD, 1600 AD and 2000 AD. So maybe even in BC the diagram was made. So you cannot expect the invention to happen till resources are ready to be invested on it. And it took 400 years, as we are aware, for the aeroplane to be created. Similarly, in relationship problems, you might be asking love for a man with whom your karma is over, and there is no longer agreement in thinking. His upbringing is very different, your upbringing is very different, and however much you try, you don't agree in thinking, and he cannot sacrifice for you, and you cannot sacrifice your values for him, because you feel compromised if you sacrifice your values. So in that case, when there is so much difference in evolution, then the problem cannot be resolved, because you are vibrating at different frequency levels. So when you surrender the problem to God, you stop worrying about it and ask for satisfaction in your life through other ways. Maybe not love, then maybe any other way. Satisfaction can manifest through several ways, not just a relationship. It is just that you have parameters, that it has to become, satisfaction has to come through a relationship, or satisfaction has to come from a sexual contact, or satisfaction has to come from food, or a marriage, a good house. So all these are parameters. So when you surrender the problem to God and you say, okay, let it be solved in any way which is positive, then there are desires inside you which may simply vanish. For example, if there cannot be a marriage with a person, you may agree for a live-in. If a person is just not ready to be with you, you might agree for another person. But before you agree for another person, you also need to ensure that you are positive from within, so that you do not recreate a sad reality as feelings repeat themselves. So before you agree to a marriage or new career, always try to work on positivity. It takes a long time. I take around 50 hours in a course to teach simply positivity, because there are so many technical skills connected to it. You cannot simply do it like, oh, I want to be positive, and suddenly there's a switch on. Even if the switch on, again the negative feelings take over. So you need to invest on learning positivity, because positivity is more important than success. As you want to be successful, to be positive. Unless you are positive, success is not going to help you. So when you surrender a problem to God, you learn the process of detachment, which is a technical skill. You learn the process of positivity. It will take time. It can take 2 years, 3 years. At least 50 hours of focused effort is needed, with some past life regressions. If you are an advanced soul and can do past life regressions, then you can take the workshop, and if you are ready for solving your problems through spiritual methods. Otherwise, you surrender the problem to God with saying that let it be sorted out in a way which is positive, and if the specific method by which it can be solved is not accessible to you, or you don't want to indulge in it, then the problem will be removed from your syllabus, and it will come back at a later date when you are ready to handle it, maybe in another lifetime, maybe billions of years later. So it is not that you don't have to solve a problem ever, but it is possible to surrender a problem. You can also ask another soul walk-in to come in you and solve the problem. You can also remove the problem from your video game and give it to someone else, and that person can solve the problem if possible. And if that cannot happen, then just wait, have patience, and over several thousand years of evolution, the problem will be resolved. Be positive that it will be resolved some way, and you will find peace regarding that problem. So that happens. But simply being stubborn may not solve the problem. For example, if you want a disease to be cured and you are asking God, cure it, please cure it, please cure it, you might die and be in another body where the disease is not there. Suppose you have a child who is depressed and you are doing nothing to help the child except scold and shout and yell, and you want God to solve the problem, then the child can leave the body and be born in another body where he is not depressed. Suppose you have a child who has autism or mental retardation, and you want the child to speak and start talking, and the child's soul plan does not allow it. So the child might be taken away from you and sent to someone else who is not expecting him to talk, or who is not worried about him talking. So there can be harsh solutions to problems, because you are insistent on a certain way, and the other person's life plan does not allow it. Suppose you want your husband to change and come to you and be understanding, then your husband might change, means the person might change. You might get divorced and find someone else, and the same person changing. Because unless that person works on spiritual awareness and soul evolution, and understands it, he will not change. Suppose you want a tree to grow overnight. It is not going to grow overnight. It will take 20 years. So evolution takes time. You cannot expect a change in 6 months or 5 months or 2 years. If it has to take 200 years, it will take 200 years. So surrendering a problem means that you will not worry about the problem, and you remove it from your mind and focus on something else which makes you positive, so that this problem goes to another aspect of your existence, and you can focus on your soul evolution with positivity and pass the test with 90%, if not 100%, but at least pass the test. Just for one problem, don't fail the whole test and be miserable in every aspect of life. So if 90% of your life is sorted out, or 80% of your life is sorted out, focus on that 80% and let that 20% be resolved over time, because darkness will always remain in life. It is never going to be completely positive. We are on earth, and we are following a plus and minus cycle, darkness and light cycle, and that is how through friction physical realities are created. So some problems are always going to remain in your life, and you simply can choose which set of problems remain, but you cannot be in an existence without any problems. So you have to, when you surrender a problem, you simply say that I am allowing it to go into zero frequency. If it can be positive, let it turn into positive. It cannot be positive, let it dissolve from my life, but let it happen in a way that it is positive for me and the other person and for the universe. Thank you.